welcome everyone to round 5 of Division 1 in Zoom Racing League. We are here in Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. Alright, so the track is 4.252 kilometers long and it has 14 turns, 8 to the right, 6 to the left, and 2 DRS zones, which will make for some okay overtaking, but with this track very difficult on its own. I'll take us to the race here. We'll take a quick look at our driver standings first, and let me just get situated real quick. Alright, so here we go. Our driver standings is Mr. Hudson Poole in first place by quite a big margin. 42 points he leads with 2 wins to his name and 1 other P3. Behind him is Eric Cavallo, who did not start the last race, but he is indeed here tonight, if I am not mistaken. Yes, he is. He's back and ready to bring the fight to Hudson Poole tonight. After him, it's Marcel Pabst in P3 with 2 podiums, 1 DNF. After him, it's Quinton Kay in the Haas. Then Cam Bourne in P5, followed by Marc-Aurélien Bastien in the Williams. Then it's other Ferrari of Johannes Ledvig in P7, Brian Newton in P8, Kyle Blevins in P9. Then, after that, we have Aaron Altmaier in P10, and then Chad Swindell will not be racing, not just for this race, but I believe for the remainder of the season. He will not be racing, so 11th is where he'll stay if he's lucky, very lucky. After him is Paul Mariage in the Alfa Romeo, and then Colin Edwards in the AlphaTauri, Maxime in P14 in the Aston Martin. In a little bit of an AlphaTauri sandwich, the bottom piece of the bread is Stelios Repas in the AlphaTauri, who got a podium on his second race finish this season. Sean Moriarty in P16, then Magnussen Cube in P17. After him it's Hector Ochoa, who has only appeared once. Actually, no, he's appeared 3 times, but he's not finished all 3 races. Then behind him, Major Castleman in the McLaren, then Freddie Razzell, another driver who will not be joining us. Actually, he is here. P7, currently in qualifying. He is here, but he needs to pick up the pace if he wants to get towards the mid-pack of the driver's standings. Then we'll go to the constructor's standings real quick. Here we go. So we have Mercedes in front, 172 points, which is around 53 points clear. Ferrari in P2, then Alpine, Haas, Red Bull, Williams, and Red Bull and Williams are actually tied on points right now. Then behind him is McLaren with 79 points, Aston Martin with 72, AlphaTauri 58 in 9th place, and then Alfa Romeo are last with 47 points. But none more of the yapping about the standings. We're here in qualifying, baby. Right now we are seeing some of the first laps being put down. We'll see if I can get on a hot lap. Yeah, here we go. So, a hot lap by LDL Lightning, who is reserving right now for Chad Swindell, and I believe he might soon come to be a full-time racer for Red Bull, but that is a speculation. He's going down the second DRS straight right now, which is very sunny out here, and any weather reports just yet, but into this tricky chicane with the banking on the left-hand part of it. Big shake in the pit, but it's alright. Then flying into the right hand, then we have a very, very steep banking right hander flat out as you like for an F1 car. And then he's going to cross the line and bring his car where will be P4 for LDL Lightning. And then, so that puts the 2 Red Bulls 4 and 5 right now. Let's see, who was that? That might have just been Marcel Pabst, who just took P4 from Lightning in the Red Bull. So Red Bull 3rd row lockout as we speak. The next Ferrari crossed the line, I think might just be starting a lap, and that's Johannes Ledvig. A bit of traffic on the exit of the pit lane, but out of the way very quickly. Some reserves we had tonight is of course Lightning, and unfortunately my broadcasting friend John Ranger is in the Haas for tonight, so that is why I am running solo. Then I believe we have one more reserve driver, and that will be Simon Carlson, the AlphaTauri. Even though he's Alfa Romeo principal, he's happy to race for any car that he would like. Go back to Eric Cavallo, who is just about to finish his hot lap here. He's second in the championship. Where is he on the timing boards? He is 5th, 2 places behind his championship rival, if you even want to call it that, being so far behind at the moment. No shade, of course. Jonas Ledvig is coming out of the second part of the chicane, and now he's going to look to continue towards the line. He has his Ferrari teammate right in front of him. I wonder if he has seen the slipstream from the 2 Ferraris. Doesn't seem to be using it so much, but he has his open and he goes 15th with a 109.379. Expect to see times maybe in the high 107s. I've heard that the likes of Quinton K has put out times like 107.8s in the time trial and qualifying sessions. So this is our order right now, and as usual, we will wait for the cars to come out again for the second hot lap, just waiting until everyone is back into the pits, then they'll go right back out. Cam Bourne here, he is actually on a hot lap, so here we go. Through the right hand, you want to be early on the throttle, and then through this very tricky left-hander, it's about the racing line that you take through there. Onto the curb he goes, and now the second DRS straight, 30% battery will be enough to take him all the way to the line. He's 2/10 up on his previous time. Right now, that would put him around P8. But can he improve any more in the third sector? We will see. Goes through, I guess you could say, the final corner, the final real tricky bend for an F1 car, and then flat out as you like, as I've said before. He is not going into the pits. He's going to cross the line now, and he will go P8 with a 108.723. His McLaren teammate is just on his outlap now. Interesting timing for the McLaren driver, but we have seen people come out at times like these before. I'm going to turn myself up a little real quick here. Hopefully that is good enough. So Quinton K goes fast with a 108.129. I'm sure he has a lot more left in the tank, but we go on board now with Major Castleman as he goes through turn 1, also known as the Tarzan corner, braking very late, third gear onto the power very early, very stable as the car plants itself through these very quick corners now into this tight left-hand hairpin. A little bit of a lockup it looked like on the screen, but he is taking it very smoothly indeed. Now he has a car ahead of him, but through these kinks of the section, very difficult to get out of the way. But he's up 2/10 on his previous time, and I believe he might have sector 2 purple as well, and I've just realized I have both of the standings still up on the screen. My apologies, guys. Totally forgot to take those off, but it's okay because Major Castleman did not stop providing us with a lap, so I'll continue with that now. He goes through the sector 2 checkpoint, and he's 4/10 up on his previous time, so right now he's still only going to be around P14, but we'll see what he can do. So coming to the final corner now, it looked pretty clean for the McLaren driver. We'll see what he can do as he comes to cross the line. Now it will be a 109.039, which puts him good for P13. See if we can find anyone else on a hot lap. Could be Magnussen Cube, but he's almost sailed into the back of a Ferrari. So going through the final corner now, what can he do as he crosses the line for a second? Or actually, this is the first hot lap of the session. What will it be? It will be a 108.647, good for P9 at the moment. Let's see if anyone else is on a hot lap. Cal is just about to finish his. The Red Bull going across the banking now and down into the final straight. Very tight to the right hand wall, and he goes P7 with a 108.528. Who else we got? We got Aaron Allmeyer, who I believe just finished his lap, so we'll skip past him. Marcel Pabst on his starting lap. Hudson Poole is going through the final chicane now. He's 1.83 tenths up on his previous time. That'll be good to put him around. Actually, I don't think he'll improve a position. He goes very wide on the curb. But if he can improve in this sector 3, then he could be looking at maybe even provisional pole at the moment. As he crosses the line now, it will be a 108.261. Doesn't improve his position, but up a couple of tenths nonetheless. Next is not Marcel Pabst, but who is it next to cross the line? That might be Mercedes, and that might be Ryan Newton. He crosses the line now, 6% battery, but enough to take him to P4 ahead of his Mercedes teammate. AlphaTauri just crossed the line, but I have no idea where he went. Actually, he's only AlphaTauri, and that is Simon Colston just starting a lap. Then the Ferrari of Marcel Pabst Apologies for the very quick changing of drivers. And Cal goes into the pits. Who else do we have? Maxime, currently last, crossing the line now. Goes not last, but P14. And then we have Eric Cavallo crossing the line now to go P6 ahead of Marcel Paps in the Haas of, I believe, it wasn't Quentin K, but it was John Ranger, and he's improved to a 108.672, good for P11. So that is the second runs of qualifying complete. Seems alright. Let's see here. Marcel Pabst is not on a lap. Is Johannes Ludwig? Actually, he might be, as he crosses the line now and he goes P17, improves one position. And then Simon is going to cross the line next, but he's 1/10 down in Sector 2, and he's 1/10 and a bit down in Sector, well, in the entire lap, I should say. So now it's down to the couple of minutes where you just take a little chill pill, relax, and get ready to pump out your final lap of qualifying. Give yourself a little pep talk. John Ranger would normally be here with me, but as I've said, he's racing, so unfortunately he will not be cracking open a cold one. Actually, knowing him, he probably would, even though he's behind the wheel of a car right now, an F1 car. Nonetheless, I popped open a Gatorade, just to keep my lips from getting chapped and my voice from getting dry. Refreshing. Okay. Ethan Patel is asking me if I want a co-commentator. No, sir. I do not want a helper. I am enough. I tell myself that every day before the mirror. So our first driver out to go on a second, or no, it's on his outlap, is LDL Lightning. Very quick driver. I honestly forgot his name, but I do believe he was with us previously in Belgium. John Ranger confirming that he does indeed drink and drive. As an organization, Zoom Racing League does not condone drinking and driving, but between yourself and John Ranger, it is a-okay. But as I was saying, this could really be anyone. I forgot their name. It could be the likes of Lucas Jan, but I could be very wrong as well. Either way, very quick driver. I think he was on the podium last time out. So P3 right now in qualifying. I don't know how much practice he's doing, but it is enough to be very quick in this range of D1 drivers. So it is just a solo ride on the track right now for him, except the Ferrari and the Haas who are about to come out of the pit lane. Here we go. So the Red Bull doesn't actually get on the batteries, so I think I know what he's doing actually. He is doing a double outlap, or a double warm-up lap, I guess you could say. And now we have a bunch of other drivers coming out onto the track to start the next hot lap. It is Johannes Ludwig, Atomic, or I believe it's Palmeiras. Then we have John Ranger also on an outlap, but still quite a few drivers still in the pits, just waiting a couple more seconds. Now all of them start to come out of the pit lane, just to get that little bit more advantage of a track evolution. I sure hope the broadcasting quality is alright. Yes, it is. Okay. Just had to make sure. But 5-place grid penalty for Freddie Razzle. Is that not just typical for the British driver? And he's in P13, so this would drop him down to dead last. But we'll go on board with the McLaren man. If you know, you know. You know why. And Marcel Paps, another 5-second time penalty for illegal blocking. So this is actually kind of a common case, and he gets another one, so being a very virtuous driver. But we will be having a lobby restart, I'd assume, because not all of these penalties can be true, surely not. But Major Castleman going through the Tarzan corner, number 1, and he is still planted on the outside. It looks like that might have been a Ferrari either having an incident and getting out of the way, or he's just plain ghosted. Either way, third gear into fourth, fifth now as he climbs through the gears through this left-hand kink, then into the right, then a big swooping right-hander he's about to come across. Downhill, 1/10 up, almost. Keeps it very nice, gets on the curb a little bit, cuts through this right-hand corner, and now will face another very, very tricky right-hand corner, but he takes it nicely. Then into this left-hand corner, very easy to lose traction here, especially in the wet conditions or just on the medium tires. And now he goes down the second straight. What can he put in? It will be 400s up on his previous time, going a little bit deep into the chicane, but nails it perfectly on the exit, so we'll see what he can do, as he will be one of the first drivers to cross the line now. And LDL Lightning is actually not about to do another lap. Neither is John Ranger. So across the line goes P15 for Major Castleman. And I swear there's no McLaren bias when I stare only on their screens. But Kyle Blevins crosses the line, now goes P6. How long will that stand, though? We have the Williams of not Mexican Cube. But the man himself, Marc Aurélien, he crosses the line. Goes first with a 1:07.989. Comfortably clear at the moment. AlphaTauri jumps up. Simon Colston goes P15. Then the Haas just finishing his lap. Quinton K has not been doing enough to get pole position today, but now it's up to the Alfa Romeo of Freddie Razzle. Goes P7, astonishingly quick from him. P13 for Cam Bourne. Then the next Williams across the line is Magnussen Cube is P7. Then the two Mercedes, Hudson Poole first across the line. Then Ryan Newton invalidated. P5 for the championship leader with his championship rival 4 places behind. Actually, no. Eric Cavallo goes P2. So if Eric Cavallo wants to bring a fight to the champion himself, this is exactly how he would want to start it here. But this is our qualifying order, so very impressive from Marc-Aurélien Bastien, who I definitely forgot his name while I was trying to say it the first time. Then Eric Cavallo in second place, Quinton K third. Then LDL Lightning, even though he did not do his final hot lap, goes P4. And in a second I will get you the rest of these results. But as far as I would assume, we are having a lobby restart due to false grid place penalties. Not just for one person, but multiple people. Okay, but here's the order provisional to those time penalty, the grid place penalties. Okay, so continue from P5 where I left off. Ryan Newton, P5. Hudson Poole, P6, the two Mercedes. Third row lockout for now. Cal in the Red Bull, P7. Magnussen Cube is P8. Then Freddie Razzle and Paul Mariage, the two Alfa Romeos. Fifth row lockout. Then it is Marcel Pabst, Aaron Altmaier, John Ranger, Cam Bourne, Simon Colston, Major Castleman, Maxime, and John Sledvig. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of offended that he's left me, John Ranger, he's left me in the booth all alone just to go P13. So I'm going to expect some big laps from him in the race just to improve.
But you're not alone.
I want to be.
Yeah, but you want to invite me to the lobby so we could get this going.
Hmm?
And there's no lobby restart.
No lobby restart. Okay.
Nope.
Alright, well, hopefully I will be alone for the remainder of this.
Send me an invite!
Nuh-uh.
Stop. We'll have fun, trust.
Alright.
We'll make it a banger.
So we did have a bit of an intruder. I apologize for that. I had no notification that he was indeed in the broadcast booth, but Ethan Patel will not be broadcasting with me tonight. I'm a one-man show, as Lightning McQueen probably said. Not in those words exactly, but it is what it is. So as we wait for the lights to come on, normally we would crack open a cold one. The only thing that I have with one of those tops that you can pop open is, okay, it's irrelevant. So 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and all the lights will be out right now as the Williams gets a good start ahead of Eric Cavallo. Then it looks pretty neat, almost 3 wide into turn 1, but not yet. Then a big contact between I believe that was Hudson Poole and Lightning. So we go through these tricky corners. Side by side goes Cam Bourne with John Ranger. And around the outside, will try Cam Bourne, but can he stick it around the outside? We go on board with him, and it looks like he's made this move pretty simple on his medium tires. And so now will Freddie Razzle, who's dropped on many positions, and that is McLaren and Simon Colston around on what is almost a trade. Is there damage for either of these drivers? No, it doesn't look like there will be, so we continue on. We go back to the front pack now. We'll see if any moves are being made within the front. It doesn't look like there is. Go on board with Lightning, who, let's actually take a look at these tires here. Get everything set up. Okay, so medium tires for almost all of the grid. We have a little bit of a fight between John Ranger and Freddie Razzle. Now Freddie trying to stick it around the outside of the Haas driver. Now we'll have the inside line as he goes into this right-hander. John Ranger concedes a position for now. Looking still very, very gloomy, I must say. We'll see if Paul Mariage can make an overtake happen on the Aston Martin of Aaron Allmeyer. It doesn't look so. Will there be an overtake ahead? Doesn't look so, but Ryan Newton does want to try to take a little look on the Red Bull. So as we continue through, a little bit of a challenge from John Ranger. Actually, no, that's Maxime on John Ranger. Major Castleman now going around the outside of turn 1. Can he make it stick through these tricky right-hand corners now onto the left-hand corner? We'll have the inside line, but not the greatest exit relative to the AlphaTauri. Side by side still as they go through these little kinks here. And now, still on the inside line is Simon Colston. Then does he keep it? Yes, he does. So P17 is still in the hands of Simon Colston for now. We'll keep looking around to see if any action is happening, and indeed there is. Paul Mariage still trying to make it past the Aston Martin of Aaron Allmeyer, but will he send it down the inside? Absolutely not. Nonsensical would that be. And then Hudson Poole getting on the gravel on the entry a little bit, which had him a little bit slidey out of the corner. I believe that's turn 12. That's alright, he's still with the pack. So we look to the front now. Will there be an overtake being made anywhere down the line? Fastest laps being traded over and over again, but Kyle Blevins is not the man that holds it. You'd expect him to be on the soft tires and having the fastest lap, but no, it goes to Quinton Kay, who's actually on the hard tires, one of the 3 hard tire runners of the grid. So, the Netherlands, not a very known track for its overtakes, but very well known for its weather, and that right now looks apparent. Very gloomy here. I'm not sure if it's scheduled to rain, but I don't think Mother Nature is too happy with us. A little bit of a frown on her face, but not quite sobbing yet. It still looks like Paul Mariage is trying to hustle around the Aston Martin of Aaron Allmeyer. But, you know, Aaron knows. He's the team principal of Aston Martin. If he can't afford to concede any of these positions right here, I believe he's 9th right now in the standings, the constructor standings in terms of Aston Martin. Either way, excuse my waffling. So now DRS enabled for the first time, and it looks like Eric Cavallo will be looking to take advantage of all of that. And into P1 goes Eric Cavallo. Will there be a challenge behind? Yes, there will. Quinton Kay is being challenged around the outside by Lightning, and oh no, Quinton Kay goes around. No damage on him, but definitely contact between him and the Red Bull. No damage for the Haas driver, but he definitely needs to start recovering these positions as fast as he can. But will he be able to in time is the question, especially if there will be rain to come. Aaron Allmeyer has dumped all of his battery. A corner cutting for Major Castleman. What has happened? We need to know what has happened to the McLaren. Either way, though, he definitely didn't benefit off of corner cutting, so maybe something to look into, but he had spun out of turn 3, and not what you want to see as McLaren team principal. So we'll go back near the front. DRS down the second straight, but no overtakes being made. But now I'm curious to see. We have seen Marc-Olivier Bastien fighting at the front before, but he has kind of had a different strategy each time he's been there. Sometimes he's tried to swap positions with the lead, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Doesn't even need the ERS deployment system, and he sails past that Alpine into turn 1. Doesn't even need to go defensive with his brake line or anything. But Cam Bourne is trying to throw down the inside of the Aston Martin of Aaron Altmaier, and he has done just that. Clean move from the McLaren driver up into P9 now. Then Quinton K making up those positions. As I said, he should try, and he's put the two Ferraris in a little bit of a tussle. Johannes Ludwig has dropped down 2 positions, not just the one, after being quite slow out of turn 1, maybe due to a battle that he was having previously. Simon Colliston follows him around 5 seconds, but Major Castleman is the one in last at the moment. And I swear I'm seeing a little bit of raindrops, and indeed I am. So, the rain has started to come, but will it be enough to really throw off these slick tire runners? If anything, I would say Kyle Blevins has the most advantage right now. He's got the softest rubber, got the hottest rubber as well. So in these tricky conditions, I think he'll be the one to gain the most, or at least not lose the most. But we'll see what he can do. So we go back to now with Eric Carvalho onto the battery, onto the DRS, and it looks like he will be trying to make this overtake for the lead, burning his battery as he throws it down the inside of turn 1. Not close enough though to make a move happen, still forcing the Williams off his line quite well though. Continue to look back to see if any action is happening, but so far, not at all. The 2 Mercedes are in a double stuffed Oreo with Red Bull cookies on either side of them. So with that remark, just a little bit of silence. As I refresh with the Gatorade, we continue on. So onto the second straight, DRS and maybe a little bit of battery for the Alpine of Eric Carvalho, but not yet. Not yet is not the time to be going for an overtake, and I can honestly not tell if it's raining quite a bit now. I mean, I think it is, but not enough to really upset any of these drivers. The lap times, I mean, I'm not really sure if these lap times are really going down too fast at all, but it doesn't matter for Era, because now, this time, opposed to what he was last time out, he is very, very clear of the Williams going into turn 1. So he retakes the lead, and now it's up to Marc-Olivier Bastien, who has a 18% battery advantage here, and he will wait for his opportunity. But I have to say, if this rain's coming, and eventually if the DRS system is disengaged, he will have to make his move pretty soon here. He has to beat the clouds of the gods right now. Now Ryan Newton is finally starting to put some pressure as another 3-second time penalty. Okay, Major has had enough, as we can clearly see with this race. We go on board now with Ryan Newton as he continues to put on pressure, but it's looking a bit treacherous now, sliding through these corners, and pretty difficult as the DRS is still enabled, but pretty difficult to get close to the car ahead of him, as is Justin Ryan Newton's situation. So we go now with Marc-Olivier Bastien. He's got a little bit of a battery advantage, but he doesn't look to be using any of it to try and retake the lead. So we continue for now. Then the Red Bull of Lightning still under pressure, but now the 2 Mercedes are switching positions into turn 1. What an absolute dive bomb that I might have missed, but it is what it is. So now the 2 Mercedes swap positions. Hudson Poole thinks he's maybe the quicker driver out of the pair. I'm not very convinced though. We have our first pitter though, and look who it is. It's Quinton K on the intermediate tires. So as this rain starts to pour down, I think he might have called it a bit too early. It does, I mean, it's definitely raining, but right now it looks as if it's not quite at the point where it's intermediate conditions. Like, there's no spray coming up from the back of the Haas, and eventually you'll just be heating up these tires that he doesn't really need to. The intermediates are a way softer compound than any of the slicks are, so that is not exactly ideal unless it starts to pour down in these next couple of laps. Much slower and struggling out of a very easy corner on this track. So we continue. We'll see if anyone pits this lap, but I don't think that we will be seeing anything of the sort. We look on board to see Paul Marriott 75% battery opposed to Cal with 28. Will Paul try and go around the outside of turn 1? He does have the straight line speed, but will he have the brakes to do so? He will try as we go around the Tarzan corner now, and it looks like he's done it alright, but he just has a moment on the exit, so he will not be able to make that move happen. But Johannes Ludwig in the Ferrari, and now Simon Colston. Johannes onto the intermediates. I'm assuming it'd be the same for the AlphaTauri. We'll see as he enters the pits. Drives into its pit box, sees the green tires, screams the engine, and leaves his pit box. And he didn't actually scream the engine, so I'm a bit disappointed. And we will continue though, at the front. It looks like a bit of a moment on the exit of that corner in particular for Eric Carvalho. It's looking just a bit more tricky. He's 3.7 seconds down on his previous time, but is that a moment? Was that a moment for, I believe that was the Haas of John Ranger? The yellow flag for what? All I saw was the Haas not going too quickly. But now Eric Carvalho onto the battery. Will he go into the pits? No, he won't. We'll play a little bit of trickery by just going ever so closer. But will we see a dive down the inside from Marc-Olivier Bastien? No, we will not. As Palmeiras now goes into the pits, is it finally starting to be time for these intermediate tires, as we see John Ranger also in the pits? Maybe he knows something we don't. He goes into the pits, puts on his intermediate tires, and he is away. Marcel Paps also going on to the intermediate tires for sure. So here we go, direct comparison. Never mind, not very direct at all. We'll try and keep a monitor on these times between the intermediate tire runners and the medium tire runners. So we'll take a look at this gap between Atomic and Maxime right now. Also, Palmeiras is Atomic. And the times look to be going down, and I have to say this track is not exactly looking like the driest piece of land right now. So the mediums have gained 4/10 in Sector 1, so I think it might be time for a switch over onto the intermediate tires. So we'll go to the front of the field. We'll start it off with Eric Carvalho. We'll see if he pits, but he doesn't. But Marc-Olivier Bastien does, and now the Mercedes of Hudson Pool does. Ryan Newton does not, though, as to avoid the double stack. Now Kyle Blevins gets a time penalty, but also is into the pits. Cam Bourne into the pits. Freddie Razzle, the two Aston Martins, all into the pits. The Aston Martins are double stacking here. We'll see if Maxime loses anything out to this. I think he might, though. And yes, he does. He has to wait, and Alfa Romeo goes directly through him. I thought that could have been a bad situation for Freddie Razzle, which would definitely have been deserved, but it is alright. And we continue. So, Kyle Blevins and Cam Bourne pretty much tail to nose here right now. But we'll see if Cam Bourne can capitalize out of this straight out of the pits. Can he make a position? I don't think so. We go to the front now, and these four drivers still on the slick tires are definitely starting to struggle now. I think it will be quite easy for Marc-Olivier Bastien to take the lead of this race. You lose about 16 seconds in the pits, but you're only losing more time the more you're on these slick tires, especially through these tricky corners where you have to take a bit of a lift. You might not be able to go flat out here, but he does. So, will he go into the pits? Yes, he will. Will LDO Lightning? Yes, he will. Ryan Newton? Of course he will. And then Magnussen Cube into the pits. So all of our drivers will now be on the intermediate tires. Cruising in, locking up crazily is the Williams. But we look to the other Williams now of Marc-Olivier Bastien. He is trying to take the lead here, but he's going to go through turn 1 now. But will he be ahead of he'll be ahead of everyone. There he goes, does Marc-Olivier Bastien. And now even Hudson Pool has jumped up into P2 from pitting early. And who else did pit early? Who was it? It was Cam Bourne. So now he's gone around the outside of Magnussen Cube, just exiting the pit lane, and he's actually made an overtake on Cal. We were not looking. Excuse the weird English, I'm just getting fatigued, but we keep going. So, Eric Carvalho is now in P3 with 1 lap fresher tires than the 2 ahead of him. Palmeiras, who was in P9 before he pitted, is now into P5, so good undercut from him, even though I thought it was a bit early at the start. 4 laps on these intermediate tires has Quinton K, and he's got his teammate right behind him for company. So we'll see. Actually, that's a Red Bull. That's Kyle Blevins, who's gone off into the gravel and now onto the grass and just losing many positions here. And now will he be able to hold the 2 Haas's back? John Ranger getting past Quinton K. as Quinton had a moment out of the same corner Kyle Blevins did not find too happy. So we go back to the front fight. Will Hudson will be trying to make an overtake here. He's got the battery. He's got DRS still enabled in these rainy conditions. And now down the inside, flying past him. And he continues. Yellow flag in the third sector, but we see nothing. And that might actually be due to Paul Mariage, who goes into the pits again. But does he need a new front wing? No, he doesn't. So who knows why we could possibly have a yellow flag. But doesn't matter right now because John Ranger is trying down the inside of the Red Bull of Kyle Blevins. So I said that I expect to see some moves from him after starting P13, and I have to say, John, very proud of you. So we continue to move. We look around to see if any action is happening, and Cam Bourne, somewhere out of all of this, has made it past Magnuson Cube while I wasn't looking, but I wish I was, because I'm very proud right now to see him in P6 as McLaren team principal as we continue with him. He's got around 4 seconds to the front, or the car in front of him. DRS now disabled though, so Magnuson Cube will not have the DRS assistance that he would have hoped for. But still we continue, still we rise. Will Marco Sebastian be able to rise through the pack? I don't think he will, because Hudson Poole has so much more battery than the Williams on hand right now. So will he be able to make a move? Fast in the straight line is the Williams, but is it fast enough to make a move in turn 1? No sir. Continue down the order, looking for any action, as I always say. And into turn 1, Magnuson Cube not able to do anything. To see if Kyle Blevins can do anything. No, he cannot. So right now, even if you thought it was boring during the dry, it can only get a bit worse. With encouragement, but Will Parmariage, he goes into the pits again. What is this man's plan? As he almost slams into the barriers. Will he retire from the session, needing 3 pit stops? It's another set of intermediate tires, but for what purpose? Front wing change, that is why. So losing 2 front wings in the span of 2 laps is actually pretty impressive, but not something you exactly want to be applauding. And a yellow flag because we have an AlphaTauri around and we have a virtual safety car as Simon Galston finds the barriers and finds himself facing not the right way, but he's definitely facing the wrong way at the time, and that is no front wing on that AlphaTauri. If I'm being honest, I would have hoped it was a full safety car. That way we would have had a little bit of more action, but you know, FIA are the FIA and they cannot be stopped. So now Simon Galston will have to limp around the track and try to lose as little time as he can. Guess you could call it a safety car restart, but that's just being a bit too fancy. So virtual safety car restart, who knows when. Whenever it is, we'll see if anyone gets a drive-through penalty, because I haven't seen it happen before. Puts K into the pits. What's he yapping about? What's he doing? Does he need a new front wing? Not necessarily, no, but he does want new intermediate tires. Interesting strategy, but I like it, and he's not the only one doing it either, but Johannes Ludwig doing it for a different reason, but he's gone back onto the hard tires. Hard tires in these conditions. I mean, with the red of his car, I could have only assumed that a strategy move like this could have happened, but I did not expect it to be the hard tires in wet conditions. That is still a bit of a stretch for the likes of the Scuderia. So we go back to the front, and Marco Sebastian has actually gone back to under a second. I remember going back on board with him, and he was a bit over. So he's done a good job to rebuild his battery, actually. So now this is actually kind of played into his hands, has it to Marco Sebastian, but only if he can keep it on track and keep it quick. Full battery for the Alpine behind him, and now he's going to dump a little bit of it to see if he can make an overtake, and the AlphaTauri is around again. Will that change anything? No, it won't. But whoa. Eric Cavallio has absolutely flown around the outside after initially going deep, and he's almost slam dunked into the Mercedes of not Ryan Newton, there's a Red Bull of LDL Langing. So very interesting. Actually caught me off guard, caught me with the voice crack in my mouth. So well done, I guess, from Eric Carvalho to keep it in front of the Red Bull after almost keeping it into the Williams. A little bit of a dry line developing, but I don't know if that actually has performance differences here. Taking a bit of a different line is Eric Carvalho, maybe just to maximize the exit of the corners, but he hasn't exactly been doing that in a decent way. Now through the chicane, can he follow the Williams? But he's got a bit deep in the second part of the chicane, and that's allowed the Red Bull to really start creeping up on the back of him. But now we'll see if any of these drivers can make a move on each other. It looks like now Lightning will be looking to make a move on the Alpine. Will he have the straight line speed to do so though, both on the battery, and it doesn't look like he will, but will he throw it down the inside? Yes, he will. But can he make the move stick? We look to see the Alpine on the outside, and it looks like the Alpine will stay ahead for now. I was about to make a Cars reference, but I guess I'll have to make it later. Now John Ranger into the pits now. What is he in for though? It doesn't look like he needs a front wing. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. Okay, he's going on to another set of intermediate tires. Now, this makes my curious sense will pop up a little bit. I think maybe the case is we have rain until the very end of this race, and drivers like John Ranger, Johannes Ludwig, maybe even Quinton Kane, Paul Mariage, they want to put on a new set and take it to the end of this race. So a commendable strategy for sure, but will it be working good enough? John Ranger knows that he has to make up a lot of time just to be, minimizing the effect of a pit stop right now. So we go back to the front now, and Eric Carvalho is still trying to challenge the Williams ahead onto the battery, now dumping it all. But he's not fast enough in a straight line. It is Eric Carvalho. I mean, what is happening here? Either way, he will not be able to make a move happen unless he can. He'll try to stick around the outside, but backs out of it, putting the nose of his car in a place where it probably shouldn't have been anyway. But we continue. Seems to be getting a better exit out of some of these corners here, as he's running kind of a different line opposed to everyone else here. But here we go, and he has to lift just not get too close to the Williams here and not collide with them, because it is very possible in these conditions. The full battery for Camborne here, and still yet behind the Williams of Magnussen Cube, so I wonder, will he be able to do anything soon? Maybe. Eric Carvalho trying to look down the inside of the Williams. It's got a bit deep in the chicane, and that which might allow the Red Bull to try and catch up with him again, but it doesn't look like it has the same effect as it did a couple laps ago. And now we look to Eric Carvalho. Will be trying to go move for again. Absolutely drain the battery on the Williams, so he's done a good job of that, going around the outside now of the Williams of Marc-Olivier Bastien. And he has done that just perfectly, unless Marc-Olivier Bastien can fight back, but he hasn't. So now, Eric Carvalho into P2 and now chasing down his championship rival, Hudson Poole. 2.3 seconds down the road though, so it'll be quite an achievement, or at least quite a task for the Alpine driver. Pretty much the closest battles that are happening right now are either this one between Camborne and Magnussen Cube, or these three. I mean, Lightning. I think it is possible that he could actually. We have a yellow flag, and that is for. Oh, of course it is. A usual culprit in the likes of Freddy Razzle. Okay, we'll continue then. Go back to the front, and it looks like Lightning's gonna try make it around the outside of Marc-Olivier Bastien. Will he be able to do it? And yes, he will, and I guess you could call Marc-Olivier Bastien Thunder, because Thunder always comes after Lightning. Cars 1, 2006. I think. I've been waiting to say that for quite some time now. Ever since I've seen this man's username is Lightning, always had me thinking of Mr. McQueen himself. A little bit of a tussle between Quentin K and Maxime, with also Alfa Romeo right in front of them for good measure. Another yellow flag, and that is for the AlphaTauri of Simon Colston, spinning in the same corner I believe he did last time he spun and caused a virtual safety car. So now battery advantage goes to in the Red Bull. Around 30% more than the person in front of him right now, who is of course none other than Eric Carvalho. We'll just see if he can make it work here. 8/10ths back, definitely not going to be looking to make an overtake happen on this particular lap, but can he? Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Freddie Razzle again, man. And it's a full safety car. Man, this guy is unbelievable. So around again goes the Alfa Romeo. And into the pits comes the Marc-Louis Bastien. It's a full safety car, by the way, if I didn't already mention. And the crew has not actually... Oh, wow. Very speedy work from the Williams crew to bolt out into the pit. Oh, and they've done it again. They're coming back for round 2. And welcome to Williams. New technology in the pit box to throw the Williams not only out of the pit box, but out of the pit lane itself. So now that Williams have double stacked, we have plenty of people going on to the new intermediate tires. Camborne one of them, so a little bit of a cheer from my heart to see the McLaren driver making a good strategy call. So lost no positions, but has only gotten more new tires. This has only hurt the likes of the people who had pit earlier for new tires, such as Paul Marriage and Quentin K. But Quentin and Paul Marriage are both pitting for new tires anyway. And somehow, out of all of this, Freddie Razzle has come out with the new front wing and new tires in front of his teammate. And we have safety car in this lap. What? Would? It's hot. What? Alright, interesting. So... What? So the top 3 all coming into the pits now, but the remaining part of the pack, I believe, is being held up now. By what? So it's Ryan Newton with the safety car restart, maybe. Is he being throttle locked though? What is going on here? This is unbelievable. Okay, so he's gone. Okay. So Ryan Newton led us with the safety car restart, and Magnussen, Cube, Camborne, Aaron Altmaier, and Kyle Blevins, and of course Quentin K, all followed him. So I have no idea what happened there with the top 4. Now, actually no, top 3, as Marc-Louis Bastien actually made it past the top 3 in time. Very, very interesting, to say the least. But Marc-Louis Bastien is your new race leader. I honestly can't tell if these conditions are getting better or worse in terms of the weather. Doesn't seem to be looking any nicer to drive, that's for sure. But definitely interesting what just happened. So now onto the battery, and onto the battery as well for Eric Carvalho. Will LDL Lightning be looking to make an overtake? So here are the penalties. Somewhere out of all of that got a 5-second time penalty, which if he puts again, he will have to serve. So unfortunate for the Alpine driver, and I don't think he can do anything unless he decides not to serve it in the pits. But other than that, Kyle Blevins and Simon Colston both given warnings for, I believe, corner cutting. So most of the drivers on 2 stops, but 3 stops for Clinton K, John Ranger, 4 stops for Palmeiras and Johannes Hudley. There's another yellow flag in it. I believe that is Clinton K, and it is. No damage to him, but still losing quite a few positions. Let's see who is turning and who is burning right now. It looks like Cam Bourne could be trying to make an overtake sooner or later. 2 to 3 business days, give or take. He's got plenty more battery than the Williams ahead of him. I'm not sure if he knows that. But he is onto the battery and now off of it. So he will continue. I don't think he'll try and make an overtake, not on this lap. But just to save the battery and get dragged along, and he almost sails into the back of the Williams, so good measures, I suppose. Crucially, Cam Bourne has been able to catch up to Ryan Newton and Magnussen Cube quite significantly. My mom would like to order a double stuffed Oreo with Red Bull cookies. So, Zoom Racing League marketing at its finest. The Hudson Pool has actually closed up a little bit to Marco Sebastian here. Will he be able to maybe make an overtake on this next part, this next straight here? Both at around full battery, so no battery advantage for either side. It's just about who wants to use it right now. Will Mark go on the battery? Not yet. Will Hudson Pool though? No, he won't. So these two might just sail along and try keep it together as the 1 and 2 right now. We will have to see. Lightning not able to make a move, but will Cam Bourne be able to make a move? It's on the battery, but not on the battery enough. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer. And right now he's actually being pulled towards Ryan Newton right now. And never mind, scratch that. As Magnussen Cube drops back from the Mercedes just a little bit. But Ryan Newton not doing the best in these wet conditions so far. We'll have to see though. So he's gotten a bit close to this lap, and still neither of these two drivers using the battery, but was Hudson Pool just waiting to make an overtake, get a little bit closer, and maybe try and go for it. We will see. Won't be able to make a move here, and I think I know someone who will. Okay, that could be Cam Bourne if he keeps it straight on the exit, a little bit squirrely. It's onto the battery now, and it looks like he will be able to make this move happen. Maybe this lap. Will he throw it down the inside? No, sir. Stays back, but gets the Williams to go a bit wide. Now he's going to try around the outside, go to this camera angle, and now onto the battery. Trying around the outside of this corner. Very, very tricky, but now into the hairpin, making plenty of contact. And it looks like the McLaren will have to stay behind for now. Back onto the battery. He gets a bit of a good exit. The two dogs are yapping, so I'll be right back. He's trying to calm him down. So we'll continue with the broadcast. And Cam Bourne now trying to continue his assault on the Williams driver. As he sees the Mercedes ahead, both of them slowly start to inch away. Go back on board with McLaren though. Not the McLaren, the Mercedes, Hudson Pool. Just not looking to make an overtake this lap, at least not evidently. Neither is Lightning. Will Cam Bourne be someone trying to make an overtake? He's being held up, maybe you could say, by this Williams, but does he have enough in him to make this overtake? He gets a decent exit out of the right hand corner, which is kind of weird to say since it is flat out, but he will just stay behind the Williams for now. So we continue to move as there's a yellow flag and a retirement and another safety car for Simon Colston. Go on board with Ryan Newton, and it doesn't matter actually, as we can see exactly where Simon Colston has clattered the barriers. Right there. Right there. So unfortunate for the AlphaTauri driver, he has caused a virtual safety car and now a full safety car, but he will not be able to stick around to cause a red flag, so not able to create the triple crown of destruction. So hopefully the safety car actually works out, because last time out we had a bit of a weird occurrence, but we will see. We will see. As I forgot to last time, this might be the perfect time to get myself a bowl of barbecue chips. Barbecue chips acquired, and it looks like we have plenty of drivers pitting, and Hudson Pool, pretty much everyone other than Marc-Valery Bastien has pit, at least so far, which is an interesting call considering that Mark didn't exactly have anything to lose by pitting. 5-second time penalty for Cal, which adds up to 8 seconds after his 3-second warning. Simon was the other one with a 3-second time penalty, but he is dead. Go back to the tires. So pretty much everyone has pit for new intermediate tires. Paul Mariage, Johannes Ledvig, and Marc-Valery Bastien are the ones who did not. But unfortunately for Mark, he does not have anything to gain, and only all of it to lose. Alright, snack review, solid 8 out of 10. And now I have the energy to continue on with this podcast. The reason is not 10 out of 10 is because they're just that ever bit stale. Have they been there for weeks? Maybe. But we move. So safety car probably won't be in for a little bit unless Bernd Mailander in the safety car is feeling a bit devious today. Because Johannes Ledvig still has plenty of room to catch up. In fact, you know, if he had a little bit of a spin right now, he could potentially be lapped by everyone. But Paul Mariage finally comes into the pits, and now it's too late for Marc-Valery Bastien to pit because he's got everyone behind him. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be in this lap, maybe it won't be. We'll have to see. You may have heard that first crunch, and it was as delightful as it sounded. So not in this lap, as it shouldn't be, so we do have to wait for the Ferrari to catch up. But anyways, this should be pretty exciting. Not really for Marc-Valery Bastien. It'll be exciting for us to watch though, as we watch everyone try and swamp the Williams. He's screaming through the gears right now, holding it at a solid 13,000 revolutions per minute just to try and burn fuel. Hudson Pool, a bit of a different, bit of a different technique for burning fuel. For some reason, I thought I just said Hudson Pool, but I didn't. But now I have. So brake dragging for the Mercedes, which also warms up the tires a little bit, so Want to be careful that you don't overheat the tires, but also do get the fuel burnt. I have to say, it doesn't look like it's raining as hard as it was near the first few laps of this race. Either way, we continue. So I don't even know if we will be having it in this lap, because Johannes Ludwig is just not there in terms of pace, like even compared to the safety car fuel. Interesting. Alright, I'm just joshing with you. I think he will be able to catch up in time. There's one corner to go, and he's flown through it, but it doesn't matter. Safety car decides he will be gone anyway. So, we will hop on board with Hudson Poole to see the safety car restart from his POV. We'll see if maybe Marco Sebastian goes for a classic Buzzed God safety car restart, or we'll just decide to go. Will he try and launch it early though? I don't think he will. Going through this corner, will he restart the field? No sir. Going very slowly. So I have to assume that he started on the straight then. But he's gone, so he's actually caught Hudson Poole off guard quite well. But he's already being chased down by the Mercedes, so we look back down the grid, see if any moves are being made, and it looks like there's a huge crash. What has happened? Holy moly, there's lots of debris on the track. So both the Mercedes, not the Mercedes, Aston Martin and the Ferrari of Marcel Pabst are out. They're not out, but basically out. But we missed a battle, and it's for the lead of the race, and now around the outside, will Hudson Poole try and go for the lead of the race? It looks like he will, but he won't be able to make the overtake happen here. So very close to these corners, and now Lightning is also trying to get in the mix here. I did see Cam Bourne making a move for P6, so I'm very proud of him. But we continue on. And so now it will be a skirmish for the lead of the race. It could even be done in this next corner. Look at the exit that the Mercedes gets compared to the exit of the Williams. And now we chuck it down the inside. No, but he will have the advantage on the next straight. Just with the slipstream and the better tires, he'll be able to stay behind the Williams and get past the Williams sooner rather than later. Now John Ranger has actually gone around, and that looks to be all of that. So go back to the lead of the race, so Hudson Poole is about to make the move. And it looks like Lightning might actually be looking to follow him through as well. We go on board with the Red Bull. Will he try and make it free wide? No, he won't. But Hudson Poole is just barely creeping down the inside. And okay, he's made the move for the lead of the race as Hudson Poole, but will Lightning be able to make his own move? It doesn't look like he will, but he does have a bit of a better line through turn 3, but he doesn't get anything out of it. Eric Cavalia now in P4, then Ryden Noon chasing him down very, very quickly. Just faster through the straight line, but not fast enough to be able to go alongside here. Not that it would matter anyway. Go back on board with the Red Bull of Lightning. He needs to clear this Williams as fast as he can so he can maybe have a shot at winning this race. If it's not done within the next couple of corners, then I'm sorry, but I don't see a way for Lightning to get any way into the lead of the race, especially now with a moment like that. Onto the battery now, he's definitely going to try it through the chicane. Will he be able to make it happen? Throws it down the inside, and that is a clean move from the Red Bull driver, but will the likes of Eric Cavalia be able to continue with that as well? Soft tires are being put on near the back of the field. So I wonder, is it time for maybe some dry tires, or is it too late to swap them on? We'll have to keep an eye on that. DRS is now enabled, so this just spices it up a little bit. When it looked all lost for Lightning, it is now maybe back in contention, because now he doesn't just have to be very close to overtake him, he just needs the 1 second, and he might have a better chance of winning this race now. So Ryden Noon, he did pit onto the soft tires, but he's very far behind now. I'd be interested to see if he can make up all this time and maybe a few positions on those soft tires in time. But either way, it doesn't look like Lightning is going to be within 1 second. He does need it very desperately if he wants to win this race still. He's going to be very, very, very close. I'm not sure where the detection point is. Okay, that's a lie. But, okay, he's gone over the curb, and I don't think he has DRS. No, he does not. No DRS for the Red Bull. No DRS for the Williams either, but Eric Carvalho and Cam Bourne are ready to throw down the DRS to make it past the Williams. They are already on the DRS. Will he be on the battery soon? No, I don't think he needs it. He uses it anyway for good measure, and now Cam Bourne is there, but he won't be able to make an overtake here. So that is how the order stays for now. Pretty much a DRS train from P3 down to P9, P10 even now. But no action still. Maybe through here. Quinton isn't really making up enough time to be back in contention here. So soft tires maybe not the right call at this late stage. And now Lightning has closed in within 1 second of Hudson Pool, and now he will have DRS through this straight. Will he have it for the next? We'll have to wait and see though. And he's dropped out of it, but can he get back in time? I think he might be able to. Out of the left-hand corner, very tricky. Can he get the power down in time? I honestly don't think he did there, and no DRS for the Red Bull, but maybe some for Eric Carvalho, and yes sir, DRS for Era. Then Cam Bourne, another man with DRS, he knows he has to clear this Williams very quickly, but he doesn't do anything to do so. So in a Williams sandwich, not double stuff, sorry mom, but just single stuff at the moment. He almost throws it around, and there's an incident, and that is Freddie Razzle around for the 3rd time in one race. So now closing up the gap phenomenally is Lightning and Eric Carvalho. So we'll see what can happen with stop 3 in the final 2 laps. He has, I'd have to say, 3 okay overtaking opportunities here, but only if he's brave enough and fast enough. Ferrari of Johannes around as well. Now with the DRS, not fast enough, will Eric Carvalho be maybe able to make an overtake here? He knows that he's quick. Is he quick enough though? Cam Bourne going past the Williams now, sailing past, you might say. And now up into P4 for McLaren. That is a very good points haul for now. If you can keep it on track, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. Look now to see Lightning. This is for the lead of the race, and he's only dropping back from the back of the Mercedes now. And as it stands, Eric Carvalho is more likely to make an overtake on Lightning than Lightning is to make on Hudson Pool. Which battle do we watch is the question though. Cam Bourne might even be swamped near the end. So, some things to look out for. So I think this is the final overtaking opportunity that we could really realistically have, and that opportunity came and went. So now we look through the final corner, and we look to go on board with Hudson Pool. Not on board, but this beautiful shot as he goes around the banking now, and he's about to cross the line to take another win, his 3rd win in Zoom Racing League's Division 1 this season. Amazing performance from Hudson Pool. After that, it's Lightning in P2. After him, Eric Carvalho in P3. Then Cam Bourne P4. Marc-Olivier Bastien in P5. Magnussen Q P6. Maxime in P7. Paul Mariage P8. Kyle Blevins P9. Freddie Razzle P10. And then on to the top runners. We have Quentin K, Ryan Noon, Marcel Pabst, Aaron Altmaier, John Ranger, and Johannes Ludwig. So interesting race, but good performance from Hudson Pool, and I would expect nothing less. But now, with the Red Bull of Lightning potentially coming to be full-time, could we see a potential title race still? We do not know. That's my boy. Driver of the day for Camborne. Deserved P4 for him. Very, very brilliant celebrations on the podium as Hudson Pool lifts another trophy to add to his cabinet. Mercedes team very, very happy indeed. Some champagne spraying with no music in the background, just bit of silence while champagne goes through the air. But anyways, enough of my waffling. This is our order. For the stewards, this is our race director, of course. Incidents. Slow it down if you need. There we go. And so for now, that is the end of the Dutch Grand Prix. But I will start to get us some interviews. We go to the interviews now. And we'll try communicate to the drivers that it is time to talk with yours truly. Was it Lucas Jan? I think that's his. I think that is who is the man himself. And then Hudson Pool, of course. Alright, it wasn't Lucas Jan, but he was good enough to indeed get an interview anyway. It is Nicolas Pichot. So if Air doesn't really hop in the interview booth in the next couple of seconds, I'm just gonna drag in Hudson Pool and give him 5 seconds. Doesn't matter. So we're gonna bring in our race winner himself, because I am impatient. But it is the man himself, Hudson Pool, who has won the Dutch Grand Prix, a 3rd win this season, I believe. How does it feel?
Feels awesome. I I didn't do any practice with the off week, and then I maybe did a couple laps here and there, and then Saturday I did a little bit, and then Sunday today me and Quentin, we grinded out the track quite a lot, and so we were pushing each other to get faster. Really unfortunate he got. I don't really know if it